January 3rd, 2022. Happy New Year. Council meeting to order. This time I'll recognize Allison Love in District 2, who will lead us in the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, we want to take a minute not to ask you for anything, but to simply say thank you for all we have. Amen. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oath of office for new appointed board and commission members. If you are here, if you'll please step up when I call your name and stand up here in front of the podium. And our attorney will come forward, and Michael Kendry will help swear you in. Nicholas Ober, Riverview Fire Tax District, and Justin LaRoche, Riverview Fire Tax District. And as you approach, I do want to say on behalf of the council, these are volunteer positions. All of us up here very much appreciate what you do. You oftentimes do not get anything. You certainly don't get paid, but we do appreciate the work that you do for the community and want to recognize you for that.
Echo those sentiments. Thank you for coming out this evening. It's my pleasure to administer the oath of office to you both. If you each raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear. That I am duly qualified. According to the Constitution of this state. To exercise the duties of the office. Which I have been appointed. And that I will, to the best of my abilities. Discharge the duties thereof. And preserve, protect, and defend. The Constitution of this state. Of the United States. So help me God. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, gentlemen, for serving. Appearances tonight, council to recognize Corporal Tim Carroll, whom I understand cannot be here with us tonight. Okay. Public forum. We have no one signed up for public forum. Do we have a motion on consent agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. We move to our public hearings. Rezoning action, hold a public hearing and consider first reading of case number 21-23, tax map number 484000024 to rezone from RC1 to BD3, 1 acre in District 2. Ms. Dill.
Good evening and Happy New Year to everyone. This is a request to rezone a 1 acre parcel from RC1 to BD3. It's located in the Lake Wiley area. It's off Highway 49, just past the interchange for Highway 274. As you can see here, the zoning for the area is primarily BD3. It's that small tract there with the yellow with the red around it. The area here, like I said, is BD3. The comprehensive plan in the area is showing to be part of a neighborhood center. So therefore, this rezoning request aligns with both the zoning and the land use plan. At this time, there is no plan for this rezoning. The intention here was the applicant also owns the large adjacent property to the north of that, and to go ahead and combine those two together with the exact same zoning and market it as one large project. Staff recommends approval, so did Planning Commission by a vote of 9-0. The request, though, did have a condition. Before they have this September approval is actually done, is to go ahead and combine this parcel with the larger one and bring it in as one large parcel. That was the only condition.
Thank you, Ms. Dill. Any questions of staff before we open for public hearing?
Yeah, thank you, Diane. Is there, what is on the other parcels? Are they just, is it just all?
Vacant. It's
all
vacant
vacant
right through there.
I got you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Dill. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak in favor of this request? Is there anyone here who wishes to speak against?
Move close.
We have a motion and a second to close public hearing. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion passes. Do we have any motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Are we approving with the conditions or without the conditions?
Move to approve with the condition recommended by the Planning Commission.
Are you amenable to that as the
Yes.
second? Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Council to hold a public hearing and consider second reading of an ordinance to redistrict and redefine the voting districts within York County through reapportionment as to population of the 7 single-member electoral districts within the county for the election of members of York County Council pursuant to the United States Census of 2020 and in compliance with Section 4-9-90 of the South Carolina Code of Laws, 1976, as amended, to amend Section 11.04 of the York County Code to codify the block information pertaining to the new districting and to adopt the conforming redistricting map, and to provide for other matters relating to the redistricting and reapportionment of county council districts in York County. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak about this matter?
Second.
Motion and a second to close public hearing. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Do we have a new motion?
I would like to make a motion that we defer second reading until we've had time to, either add this on to our next scheduled workshop, because there's more discussion that needs to be made before I think any of us can really support the map that we voted on the first reading. And I don't want to just keep voting it through, so.
I second.
Second, yep.
Motion and a second, just to clarify, the motion is to move second reading to the next council meeting.
If we can add it on our end of our workshop with a special call meeting or something afterwards, so.
For discussion at the special call meeting and then at the next council meeting, have second reading?
Can we keep it open? We're waiting for Mr. Opperman to get back to us too on the finalizing some of his recommendations.
Yes, you can
I don't
have
want
it.
to push it too much, because I know,
So no later than the next regularly scheduled
No later.
council meeting.
yes.
Okay. Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Council to hold a public hearing, consider amending and providing second reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 56 of the York County Code of Ordinances, nuisances, littering, to rename Chapter 56 as public nuisances, to rename, renumber, reorder, and clarify the requirements for nuisances throughout Chapter 56, to relocate and consolidate the legislative findings to the introductory provisions of the chapter where possible in order to provide clarity and uniformity as to the purpose and approach for addressing all actions or conditions which constitute a public nuisance, to provide a general definition section for those terms or phrases applicable to the entire chapter, and to define certain terms, including but not limited to the public nuisance, responsible party, and abatement therein, to provide for uniformity and procedures for serving notice of a violation or complaint, to clarify procedures by which the county may address inability or unwillingness to abate a public nuisance, to clarify and amend the penalties for failure to abate a public nuisance, including but not limited to applicable fines and abatement action by the county in conjunction with the placement of a lien for the cost of such abatement to be collected in the same manner as delinquent taxes, and to provide for other matters related thereto. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak in favor? Is there anyone here who wishes to speak against?
Move to close.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Do we have a new motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Love?
So this is, equates to 69 pages in our packet. And I would like to take a closer look at this as the zoning committee. There's some things in it that are new, there's a lot of old things that haven't been removed, and there's some new things that are of a concern to me. What I would like to do is call a zoning committee meeting and then have this back on the next agenda with probably some possible changes. And if I could get a copy of what's changed in this, like a red line copy of this, so when we're looking at it, maybe all of council needs to see that, but just a red line copy so that you can see what's being proposed as a change versus what's
Yeah.
already existing.
Are you saying before third reading, or you defer a vote until
I'm
goes through
saying
zoning?
pass it tonight,
Gotcha.
but then before because this is second reading, so before third reading, is this second reading?
Yeah.
before third reading, we would hold a zoning committee meeting and then come back with some recommendations at third reading.
Yeah, I would.
So to clarify, your motion is to approve, I guess you moved to approve. You're okay with motion to approve with third reading not coming until you've had your planning commission meeting? All right. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I would agree to that. I definitely looking at the amount of changes and identifying what was the difference from the previous law. There is some, and again, we'll have further discussions about it, but identifying, and it may be in there, and again, I think it's some more we need to talk about, but transportation in vehicles, and where we see littering coming out of trucks that are moving, et cetera. I think there's further discussion need to be done around that.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. We do not have any old business. First item in new business and only item of new business. Council to consider first reading of an ordinance to amend the Code of County of York, South Carolina, Chapter 153, Sections 153.30 through 153.34 in order to revise, restructure, and reestablish the County Economic Development Board, to prescribe its composition, membership, and terms for its members, to delineate and define its purpose, objectives, duties, and powers, to provide for a public hearing, and to provide for other matters relating thereto.
Make a motion to defer this until we get through our recode and redistricting, so possibly for our second meeting in February.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
I just like, the only reason why is because we have a lot going on right now, and I don't think council has had the opportunity to fully digest this, let alone the Economic Development Committee meeting. So I know there's going to be some more discussion, and I'd like to make sure we have the opportunity to do that when we don't have so much on our plate.
Thank you, Mr. Hamilton. I agree with you 100%. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Committee and other reports. Planning and Economic Development Committee, Chairman Joel Hamilton.
Planning and Economic Development Committee meeting met this evening, where we received some updates on end-of-year numbers and then moved into executive session to receive some information about some potential new projects.
Thank you, Mr.
I
Hamilton.
should say also present were Councilman Tom Audette and Councilwoman Love, so,
And two others.
yes. We had a whole host of visitors tonight.
Full house.
Any council member, new non-agenda comments?
Yeah.
Mr. Audette, I see you.
Yeah, I do have one. You know, as we've gone into 2022, you know, we're seeing an increase in COVID testing going on, not only in our area, but across the U.S. Challenges we are seeing is lack of COVID tests themselves. We saw a witness of this today, where lines in facilities are completely out. I think is something that, I'd recommend maybe staff look at. Where is the opportunity from a county perspective that we may be able to at least assist in that challenge that we're seeing out in the public. So just want to make that for awareness, and staff, I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Any other comments? I'm going to say something this new year. There's been something that's touched our community once again with this mental health. I really do think that there are a number of us on this council who recognize the need for us to maybe take the lead and take a leadership role in taking a look at that issue. I know we have a lot on our plate, but I'm hoping that we still have the willingness to want to do that and to work with our state legislators and maybe start looking at that issue a little bit more in depth once we get through our strategic plan. I hope that we move forward with that. Do we have a motion on executive session?
We do. I move that we move into executive session for the receipt of legal advice relating to a contractual matter regarding association of legal counsel, and also for the receipt of legal advice relating to the Rock Hill TIF. And in addition to the two on our agenda, we have one additional item for the receipt of legal advice relating to another contractual matter regarding municipal jail agreements.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we will move into executive session. No action was taken. Do we have any motions?
We have one motion, and that is to associate Attorney Brian Autry for a legal matter as we discussed in executive session.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
Only other motion is to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.